This is the Louie Tee Network.
In the lab room. 5 minutes or less.
Arizona Cardinals. Welcome, you are in the lab room. I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me here on this program, 5 minutes or less, 2014 schedule release, the Arizona Cardinals. Coming at you. Let's go. So you look at this schedule for the Cardinals, and we start with primetime matchups. You know that's where I like to begin my journey. And looking at the Cardinals, they've got 3 of them this season, an upgrade over the 2 they had a season ago. So you look at this Cardinals football team, Thursday night, everybody gets one of those, week 15 at St. Louis. That should be fun. It's always fun when it's family business and it's on prime time for everybody to see. Always a good time. You look at Sunday night, week 16, the very next week, you're on Sunday Night Football against who else other than the Seattle Seahawks, the Super Bowl defending champion Seattle Seahawks at home. That should be plenty of fun for those crazy fans up at University of Phoenix Stadium. And you look at Monday Night Football. Right off the bat, week 1, that second game of the doubleheader in week 1, Cardinals hosting the San Diego Chargers. San Diego Superchargers coming to your building week 1 on that nightcap of the doubleheader in week 1. So those are the 3 primetime matchups for the Arizona Cardinals. You look at divisional games, and this is one of the toughest divisions in all of football. And nothing's easy here. Nothing comes cheap. Nothing's free. And so if the Cardinals want to take that next step, the reason the Cardinals did not make the postseason last year is because they weren't good enough within their own division. They want to take that next step. They got to be a little bit better within the division. And so let's talk about these divisional matchups. You start with St. Louis, week 10, home for the Rams. Got to defend your house. Got to protect your house. You did a really good job of doing that last year, except when it came to playing the big boys in your division. You took care of St. Louis at home, but you weren't able to take care of the others. You got to make sure you take care of home within this division. It's tough enough to win in this division on the road. You got to make sure you get the ones at home. St. Louis coming to your place week 10. Week 15, we just talked about that, on the road for the Rams, Thursday Night Football. I remember 2 years ago, the Rams wrecked your season, knocked Kevin Kolb out of the game. You were undefeated coming into that matchup. You left that game battered and bruised, and you weren't the same football team. Let's hope that the Rams don't do that again to you on Thursday Night Football. It was ugly 2 years ago when they did it to you on Thursday night. Let's not have a repeat of that. So you look at the San Francisco 49ers. Here's a team that swept you last season. And that you cannot have if you want to make headway in this division. 49ers coming to your place week 3, a early season matchup. Got to take care of business there. Week 17, you're on the road at San Francisco. So shoes on the other foot. Last year, San Francisco had to come to your place in week 17. This year, you have to travel out to the Bay to take on the 49ers in week 17. Seattle, Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks, week 16. Talked about that as a primetime matchup. They're coming to your place week 16, Sunday Night Football. Ought to be a lot of fun. Week 12, you got to go back to the scene of the crime. And the Seattle Seahawks are mad because they haven't lost at home to anyone in almost 2 years until you came to their house and was utterly disrespectful, came out with a W. They're looking for a measure of revenge. Nothing is better than a team out for revenge, revenge, revenge. So that should be a lot of fun. So week 12, you got to head over to Seattle. So now we move on to anomalies for the Arizona Cardinals. And you know what anomalies are in my mind. Stretches of football that stick out like a sore thumb, whether it be 3 out of 4 at home or away, 4 out of 5 at home or away, or of course 3 straight home or away. And so for the Cardinals, they do have a home anomaly on their schedule. It is from weeks 8 to 11. That's where they played 3 out of 4 games at home. Got to take advantage, full advantage of stretches of football where you get 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5 or 3 straight at home. You must take advantage of those if you are the Arizona Cardinals. And we'll talk about that stretch of football in a bit. You look at their road anomaly, 3 out of 4 on the road in weeks 12 through 15. So later in the season, as soon as we kind of get to that stretch run, the schedule makers throw you a curveball, throw you 3 out of 4 on the road in weeks 12 through 15. Gotta find a way to buckle up those bootstraps and get victories on the road. So you look at week number 4. That is your bye week. That is disgusting. That is one of the worst bye weeks you can have as a football team. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but it's your bye week nonetheless. Take advantage of it, lick your wounds, and then know that for the next 13 weeks, you don't have a bit of rest coming your way. So I apologize to you in advance for a week 4 bye, but there's nothing that you can do about it. So you move on to mark your calendar games. If you are the Arizona Cardinals, week 5 at Denver, to me, coming off the bye week, all right? You got a bye in week number 4. You're at Denver in week 5. So you've got 2 weeks to prepare for Peyton Manning and that high-octane offense. It's a measuring stick game of sorts for me. You go out to Denver and you see how good of a football team you really are. If you can hang tough with the Broncos and not necessarily win, again, we don't know how good the Broncos are going to be, but if they're anything like they were a season ago, and I like to think they're going to be better, then if you can go out there and compete and go toe-to-toe with the Denver Broncos in Mile High, got to feel really good about your chances of being a good football team this year. If you go out there and you get slaughtered, then you're just another team to add to the list of teams that was absolutely run over by that Denver Broncos football team. Doesn't say a lot about who you are or who you aren't, but definitely a measuring stick game for you if you are an Arizona Cardinals fan. So now I need a timeout. Give me one of those timeouts. You look at the Arizona Cardinals and their divisional games, 5 of them come after week number 10. Ouch. So your schedule is what we call backloaded. It's backloaded full of divisional games. Week 10, St. Louis. Week 12, Seattle. Week 15, St. Louis. Week 16, 17, both divisional games against Seattle and San Francisco, respectively. That's rough. You got to take care of business down the stretch. Your final 3 games are against NFC West opponents, 2 of which are on the road, 1 sandwiched in between a home game against Seattle. So that's rough. If you're Arizona, you got to strap them up down the stretch and take care of those backloaded divisional games if you're going to make a move up the NFC West standings. Time in. And so that was the Arizona Cardinals in 5 minutes or less.
While you're here, go ahead and sub up.
In the Lab